Tonight, Boston police say the man who shot an officer last night was in the process of robbing a pizza delivery driver when he was confronted by that cop. Boston police say the gunman is a 23-year-old Brockton man who had robbed another pizza driver on the very same street just 2 nights earlier. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ken McLeod. The suspect was arrested in an alleyway after a rooftop chase, and the officer will recover. Here's WBZ's Laura Hafley.
Officers come to work day in and day out. They deserve to go home.
The day after a Boston police officer was shot and 2 others injured in Roxbury, Police Commissioner Michael Cox and Suffolk County DA Kevin Hayden touted the officer's quick thinking and sacrifice.
One of our officers, faced one of the most dangerous situations that any police officer could ever face.
According to officials, Friday night, the shot and injured officer, now recovering at Boston Medical Center, recognized a suspect from previous robberies. In the middle of carrying out another crime, the officer reacted, chasing the suspect through the Roxbury neighborhood onto rooftops and ultimately apprehending him. But not before the officer was shot several times.
This is another example of people who have no respect for life in any way, shape, or form.
According to the police report, the suspect is 23-year-old John Lazar, now in police custody.
I think anybody should be concerned when people are shooting at police.
The Roxbury neighborhood still shaken up the day after shooting.
Gun violence is something that's sadly popular.
John Espinel lives and works in the area and is concerned the violence may only worse.
We don't like hearing, obviously, stuff like that, especially in our community.
Community leaders are calling for change in neighborhoods plagued by violence.
We need to reinforce within the culture of this community that the police are valuable. Preaching a culture of nonviolence is important. Getting rid of the instruments of violence and death, the guns, is equally important. And having a general respect for law enforcement, for the police.
The suspect will be arraigned Monday and is facing several charges, including assault and battery with a deadly weapon. In the Satellite Center, Laura Hafley, WBZ News.
Ted Kaczynski, the man known as the Unabomber, has died. The 81-year-old was found unresponsive in his North Carolina prison cell shortly after midnight and later died at the hospital. Kaczynski was serving 8 life sentences after pleading guilty to a 17-year reign of terror, mailing bombs to people and organizations between 1978 and 1995. He killed 3 people and injured 24 others, apparently seeking revenge against what he considered to be a corrupt modern society. Kaczynski was a Harvard-educated math professor who then retreated to a plywood shack in remote Montana. It was his brother who eventually tipped off the feds that Kaczynski might be their man. Project 351 hosted its ambassadors in Foxborough today for a leadership reunion. The event celebrates the impact those youngsters have had on the community and kicks off the second half of Project 351's service year. Attendees got to take part in a leadership training and also some service projects. They say giving back is rewarding.
Okay. I serve because I want to help someone be able to then maybe help someone else. I want to kind of inspire a chain reaction. I want to make like a ripple effect.
Our friend and colleague Lisa Hughes hosted a conversation with several change makers, including Patriot safety Devin McCourty, and 2 others featured on WBZ News, Megan Burke and D1.
I'm honored on behalf of my family and Project 351 to present the Myra Craft Giving Back Scholarship to Francesca Forsolati.
And a special moment at today's event, Francesca Forsolati received the Myra Craft Scholarship. Francesca didn't know she'd be receiving that scholarship. She's a Project 351 ambassador and was selected because of her efforts to give back to her community. Francesca says she'll be attending Stonehill College, so congrats to her. Well, WBZ is celebrating 75 years on the air. Yesterday was actually the exact anniversary. It all started on June 9th, 1948. And as WBZ's Paula Eben takes a look back at how we began and how far we've come.
It began with a test pattern, but that tone and image marked a milestone. England's first TV station on air.
Congratulations, station WBZ.
and Rabbi Joshua Liebman.
In the prayer that this new invention of human genius shall be used for the blessing of all and the hurt of none.
Then, the first live newscast on WBZ, anchored by Arch McDonald. He was followed by journalists who became household names.
Jack Chase, boy.
Jack Chase, Shelby Scott, Don Kent.
What are we fighting for?
In the 60s, Sarah Ann Shaw, Walt Sanders, and Charlie Austin joined WBZ and became some of the first black journalists in Boston television.
News management teams looked up and discovered that they needed people who looked like the people out in the street to send out to try to get the story.
WBZ had the first female anchor team with Gail Harris and Shelby Scott, and of course, Liz Walker.
The National Guard still stands.
The first African-American to anchor a weekday newscast in Boston. Liz, Jack Williams, Bob Lobel, and Bruce Schwegler became the WBZ Dream Team and established a legacy we tried to emulate every day. But WBZ has never been just about the news. This was the home of Evening Magazine, People Are Talking, and Boomtown. And it all started with a test pattern.
All right, let's go ahead and check on that forecast. Now, after a showery Saturday, Chief Meteorologist Eric Fisher is here now. He's got more on that.
Yeah, we're dodging some of those showers and thunderstorms this afternoon. Things drying out tonight. Temperatures